Alright, question one. So, some areas of strengths and preferences for me. So, I was typically classified as a critical thinker or under intellectual intelligence or as a relator. So, thinking about the components within these, some of my preferences are I like to get feedback on things. I often ask my group members what they think about my work, or I will go to a peer who is not in my group and ask them about their work and compare our answers. Other strengths and preferences include detailed analyzation, sharing insight with others, typically in kind of a long winded fashion. I can say too much often. I am good at correcting errors when I see them from myself and others in a non threatening way. And some strengths of mine from the section include collaboration and encouraging the strengths of other team members and remaining emotionally aware. So, styles that I need to access more include visionary and warrior. I had little access to the warrior under normal circumstances and next to none access to visionary under stressful circumstances. I think my score was a total of 1 for visionary under stressful circumstances. I feel that's because when I get stressed, I let my emotions overwhelm me, which makes sense, as relator was a high strategy for me under stress. I start to get panicky and hot and sweaty, and I can't move past anything besides the fact that things aren't going how I want them, and I feel uncomfortable. If I was able to use these visionary leadership styles and look into the big picture rather than get caught up in frustration over one small portion, I would be a much more effective leader. I often doubt myself and get anxious, so I'm not surprised that warrior or action intelligence was low for me under both circumstances. Being strong, courageous, and driven are not always areas which come naturally. I need to learn to empower myself and be willing to make mistakes and place myself outside of my comfort zone, such as with a transformational leader mentioned in the reading who seeks opportunities amongst risk. Some of my shadow patterns include being unassertive. In some situations outside of school, in areas that I'm comfortable in, such as in the gym, I can be very assertive. But when I'm at school, I get overly conscious of what other people are thinking about me, my grades, how I sound, what I look like, and I get so caught up in these things that I automatically consider myself as a failure. According to the text and what I know from personal examples, self-confidence is a very important trait of an effective leader. If you can't believe in yourself, then why would others? Another area of red alert in my mind as a shadow pattern was getting bogged down in detail. I'm not always fabulous at being concise, and this can leave me and anyone else I'm trying to lead very confused or overwhelmed. So, what insights does this provide on adaptability and ability to lead in different circumstances? Through this assessment, I see a clear picture of my shadow areas, and I know that I need to spend more time self-reflecting and moving towards the path of the sage. I am often not very adaptable in stressful situations. Within the context of being an authentic leader, clinicians are guides for clients through their rehabilitation and habilitation. Leaders, unlike the more task-focused managers, are meant to bring inspiration and pave the way. A self-imposed bad attitude will not get any of us anywhere. I think I definitely need to become more adaptable, and by starting moving through the 5 decision-making steps, moving from analyzing, connecting, planning, doing, and reflecting, by placing them on a small note card or somewhere I can easily access them, I could start to come out of my comfort zone and tap into these areas. So, how might this information impact my roles, responsibilities, and interactions as a Level 2 fieldwork student? As a Level 2 fieldwork student, I'll use this information to make sure I am self-reflecting on the things I learn, the mistakes I make, and the connections I form. I can use strategies such as journaling, exploring my belief system, and making sure downtime is taken to avoid getting burnt out. It will be a new environment with a much more intense schedule than I'm used to as being a student. Becoming overly responsive to criticism will also be something I need to work on. My roles and responsibilities in this setting will be to take my own responsibility for learning and to grow my confidence to best serve clients. As an entry-level practitioner, you want to continue to learn and grow. But you also have to realize that you will often be in more supervisory positions, such as watching over an OTA. Both safety and effectiveness are important buzzwords in the AOTA's guidelines of supervision. OTs, once licensed, will have greater responsibilities, and it will be very important that I learn how to be assertive. I could do this through practicing the three-part I statements found in the Authentic Leadership article, managing my stress, and helping myself focus on the big picture and instead of becoming so detail and task-oriented. So, that's all I have to say, and thank you for listening.